Satish Jarkiholi is now very famous for calling people, but the question is, in the absence of DK Shivakumar, what was so urgent? We also know that Satish Jarkiholi is extremely close to Siddaramaiah, considering that Satish Jarkiholi is a very well-known ST leader, and of course in the Ahinda umbrella, he's got a lot of influence. So tell me something. Is it just a regular meeting? Cannot Binovaji in Karnataka, nothing happens as regular. So tell us, what was brewing? What was for dinner, Vajiullah? The menu, as it were.
Well, I heard chicken was there in the menu, but apart from chicken, what we also know is that, like you clearly mentioned, Satish Jarkiholi is not leaving any stone unturned when it comes to pushing for himself being the KPCC president. But if you take this question to the people who were present there, they would say that it had nothing to do with the cabinet position or with KPCC president. It was all about governance, and it was getting together. If you also notice one thing, so all these leaders who were present there were all leaders who were close confidants of Siddaramaiah, be it Mahadevappa, Parameshwar, Jarkiholi, are all people who are believed to be from the Siddaramaiah faction and are people who are close aides of Siddaramaiah. And this happened at the backdrop when DK Shivakumar is not in town. And yesterday when this was asked, he said that yes, a lot of leaders were outside, and it is not like an official meeting. It was just a dinner to contemplate over what should the plan of action be for the Congress in 2028. But when he was asked about the KPCC president's post, he clearly said that that is something that we did not discuss because it's not in our hand. It's the High Command who has the decision, and the Chief Minister already has a plan ready over whether it is cabinet reshuffling or it is cabinet expansion. So all these things, that is the Chief Minister and the High Command is there to answer. But here the whole idea of getting together was to chalk a plan for 2028 and to make sure how the governance continues even after this election. So this is what it was all about, is what they've maintained. But this does raise a lot of questions on why such a party, even when not all your leaders are in town, when most of them are still on a New Year's break and have not returned yet. So it does raise a question whether the post of DCM was discussed or whether the moving of KPCC president was discussed. What all were there that was a part of discussion. So this is something that we'll get to know in the coming days when they start spilling the beans.
Never a dull moment, like my colleague Vajiullah just said. We'll have to wait and see. Never ever. And the second story also requires Vajiullah's presence here. We're going to talk about the latest in the Sachin Panchal suicide case, and let me tell you that there are a lot of questions which are being risen over it, and the question is, Congress in the dock for Contractor's death? That's the question that we are asking. Now, what has happened in this case is that the Crime Investigation Department has now begun its investigation in all its earnesty. CID officers today reached the Bidar railway police station on 26th of December. It may be recalled that Sachin had died by suicide after he jumped in front of a moving train near the Basaveshwara circle in Bidar. In his suicide note, purportedly, Sachin Monappa Panchal had accused Raju Kappanur of pressurizing him for ₹1 crore, a claim which Kappanur has refuted vehemently. An FIR has been registered against Kappanur and 5 others in the suicide case of Sachin. The BJP alleges that Kappanur is a close associate of Priyank Kharge and hence he should resign. The Karnataka BJP unit has also announced a massive protest in Kalaburgi on 4th of January, that is tomorrow, alleging that Priyank's name was mentioned 3 times in the suicide note. Meanwhile, Priyank Kharge has denied all such allegations and said that the BJP was making baseless allegations in a bid to bring bad name and disrepute to the Kharge family. Listen in.
ಕಳೆದ 4-5 ದಿನದಿಂದ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯವರು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೆಚ್ಚಕ್ಕೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಡಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರ ಹೆಸರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಪ್ ಚುಕ್ಕೆ ತರಬಹುದಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಂಚನ್ನ ನಡೆಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಹೋದ ಬಾರಿ ಕೂಡ ನನ್ನ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯವರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯವರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯಾಕೋ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವಿಜೇಂದ್ರ ಅವರಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಾರಾಯಣ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಚೆಲುವಾದಿ ಅವರಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಿ ಟಿ ರವಿ ಅವರಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೂತ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೂ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಾವು ಏನಾದರೂ ಲಾಜಿಕಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದಾಗಿದೆ.
Now, Congress workers today also attempted to lay siege to Karnataka BJP chief Vijendra's residence. So there is a kind of a tit for tat which is going on. The question that we are asking is, because of this, is the Karnataka Congress also the government, the party and the government in the dock? You know, they also shouted slogans in front of Vijendra's house, alleging that the BJP was, as usual, making false allegations. The protesting Congress workers were, of course, detained by the police. Let's go to Vajiullah, who can actually give us a proper perspective, because as of now, these are all allegations. Of course, there is a very, very sad case of death by suicide of Panchal, and it is very, very sad. No one wants to do politics over it. But then Priyank Kharge's name, because the FIR, I beg your pardon, the suicide note has the name of Raja Kappunur thrice. So let's go to Vaji. Priyank Kharge has gone to town, gone blue in his face, saying, listen, why are you blaming me? Am I the guilty person? But isn't it also true that his close associate has been named by the deceased very, very clearly? Vajiullah.
Well, so that's become another Congress versus BJP in Karnataka with regards to this particular case. And rightly that you mentioned, Priyank Kharge has gone on to town with regards to saying that he has nothing to do with him. Yes, he's a close aide of the Kharges, but this was a transaction between two people and he was nowhere involved in it. And the BJP has time again questioned that why is Priyank Kharge not resigned? Now, we've seen in the last 2 days, there were a press conference that were done by both the BJP and the Congress. It was the BJP who first released photos of Kappunur with Kharges, saying that both Arjun Kharge and Priyank Kharge have close ties with this particular person. And then the next day, Priyank Kharge also did a press conferences releasing photos of Raj Kappunur with BJP leaders saying that he was in the BJP before he joined the Congress. So that way, both of them are trying to divert the entire attention from the investigation to photos and videos, trying to say that it belongs to you or he belongs to me. But on the other hand, when it comes to investigation, the CID has finally landed at Bidar. The family who yesterday while speaking to the press have clearly said that they don't have any confidence in the government and in the investigation. They have not even questioned anybody yet, nor have arrested anybody yet. Most of these people are still missing while they're constantly questioning us and asking us about papers. And we've also got to know that there are documents that are missing with regards to Sachin. Tomorrow they will also go on to say that Sachin did not exist. So the family has alleged a lot of things today. When the CID had also reached there, when they were informed by the police that the CID is coming to investigate it, they said that we'll have to wait and watch whether the CID does a good job or not. If not, we are continuously asking for a CBI probe. So the family has asked for a CBI probe. You have the BJP also trying to corner the government, especially Priyank Kharge, with this entire fiasco, because after the entire land donation row that his elder brother was involved, this is the second instances where the Kharge families have been named. So this is turning into a big fight between both the parties.
Like I said, not a dull moment when it comes to Karnataka politics, both in the party as well as the government. Thank you so much, Mohammad Vajiullah, for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed. And the next story, one of the most horrific rape stories which are coming from Tamil Nadu. Of course, lots of politics being done. That's not our intent. But the BJP tears into the ruling Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam over the Anna University sexual assault. That's after the break. I'll see you on the other side.
From the highlands of Afghanistan to the jungles of Vietnam, the deserts of Africa, to street battles in Mosul, the AK-47 has dominated every conflict. But what if it could be made even better? Enter the SSS Defense P-72, India's answer to the AK-47. So how good is it? Let's find out.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
It's not the fiefdom of politicians. They owe it to the people. Matter is now more about faith of the millions of devotees than just political slugfest. Does that mean that I can't get a job in Chennai, although I may be best suited for that particular job? They have more civic sense, they have more of civility than all these men. My name is Sudha Sadanand. Welcome to the South Indian. All right, you're watching the South Indian, and now a story which has made headlines for almost 1 week. It's a horrific story of rape. But today, the BJP tears into DMK over the Anna University sexual assault case. The sexual assault on the 19-year-old student of the prestigious Anna University on 23rd of December in Chennai is not only horrific at the basic level of a sexual assault, it is terribly ugly, ladies and gentlemen, at several levels. Think about it. Allowing a history sheeter easy access into the campus and a man who had the gumption to threaten and coerce the survivor and her friend with impunity. The complete failure of the security apparatus at the university, which boasts of an illustrious legacy but later gave out some lame excuses. Victim shaming of the survivor and faulting her for the crime inside the university because she, and I quote, chose a wrong male friend who couldn't save her. In complete violation of Supreme Court rules, the Kotturpuram police's mishandling of the complaint leading to the leaking of the FIR, which revealed the victim's identity. This is a state ruled by the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, where it stresses on not only gender equality but a special status to Tamil women. It says Thai Kulam, they are like the mothers. Really? Seriously? No wonder the High Court appointed an all-women SIT to submit its report on the horrendous crime. Many political parties have come out in the open, and of them the BJP has been most vocal. No, I'm not doing politics here. I'm just talking about the loudest voice on this, like it should be for all of us. First up, we saw the state unit president K. Annamalai vowing never to wear slippers until the DMK government relents. He then proceeded to self-flagellate as a symbol of penance and anger at DMK's failures. And today, members of the BJP's women's wing attempted to take out a justice rally from Madurai to Chennai over the sexual assault case. As a symbolic gesture, the protesters gathered near Simakal and held the fire pots in their hands, demanding a complete and thorough investigation into the sexual assault. The party's women's wing president, Allu Arjun, led and had planned to hand over a memorandum to meet Governor R.N. Ravi, but then the police began detaining them ahead of the march. Listen in to actor turned politician and member of the Tamil Nadu BJP, Khushbu Sundar, on what she had to say about this entire procession.
திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழக ஆட்சிக்கு எதிராக அவங்களுடைய தவறான செயல்களுக்கு நாங்க ஒரு பேரணி நடத்தணும்னு பார்த்தாக்கா இல்ல ஒரு ஆர்ப்பாட்டம் பண்ணணும்னு பார்த்தாக்கா எங்கேயுமே எங்களுக்கு பர்மிஷன் கொடுக்கப்படுறது இல்ல. அதுக்கு காரணம் எது பேசினாலும் உண்மை மட்டும்தான் பேசுவோம். அப்படி திராவிட முன்னேற்றக்காரங்களுக்கு நல்லாவே தெரியும். மாண்புமிகு முதலமைச்சர் ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களுக்கு நல்லாதான் தெரியும். அதனால பர்மிஷன் கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. நாங்க பேசுற விஷயம் இன்னைக்கு மக்கள் காது கொடுத்து கேக்குறாங்க. அவங்க உண்மைதான் பேசுவாங்க. அதுக்காக என்ன சொல்ல வராங்கன்னு கேக்குறதுக்கு தயாரா இருக்காங்க. இன்னைக்கு திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் பாஜக பார்த்து ஒரு பயத்திலே தான் உட்கார்ந்துட்டு இருக்கு. அடுத்த நாள் காலையில என்னத்தான் இவங்க அப்படியே எங்களை பார்த்துட்டு பேச போறாங்க, கேள்வி கேட்க போறாங்கன்னா அந்த பயத்துல தான் இருக்காங்க. நாங்க எந்த கேள்வி கேட்டாலும் மாண்புமிகு முதலமைச்சர் மு.க. ஸ்டாலின் அவர்கள் கிட்ட ஒரு பதில் இல்ல. அப்படி இருக்கிற பட்சத்துல நிச்சயமாக இந்த பேரணி இன்னைக்கு இல்ல, எங்க இருந்தாலும் இந்த பேரணி நியாயம் கிடைக்கிற வரைக்கும், நீதி கிடைக்கிற வரைக்கும் இந்த போராட்டம் நடத்துவாங்க.
You know, the operative word is Nyayam in Tamil, which means Nyay in Hindi, in Sanskrit, justice. That's what I think we owe to this young girl. Meanwhile, Annamalai also alleged that the BJP functionaries were being detained by the police as a step to stymie the rally. Quoting from his post on platform X, under this DMK government in Tamil Nadu, history cheaters and sexual offenders roam freely under the disguise of being a DMK functionary, but at BJP for Tamil Nadu, functionaries are being constantly harassed for being the voice of the people. BJP's Mahila Morcha functionaries were either arrested or kept under house arrest across various districts today to prevent them from participating in the rally in Madurai to seek justice for the female student who was sexually assaulted by a DMK functionary. I am not saying it. This is what K. Annamalai has said. He is alleging that the accused is a DMK functionary. Well, that's a question which is actually very controversial, although there were pictures of him with the Deputy Chief Minister, Udayanidhi Stalin. But like the DMK said, it could have been taken at any function. It's the day of the selfies, you see. Why is the DMK government so afraid of being exposed for protecting criminals, said Annamalai, but it resorts to silencing those who seek justice. Meanwhile, the Pattali Makkal Katchi also protested at their march and said that we are being denied permission. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, politics notwithstanding, the sexual assault on the student requires a very deep rethink on how the DMK needs to clean up the system. A state cannot afford either the public hacking of a politician in broad daylight, nor should it hide behind platitudes of seeming to give protection to the women. Let's debate. I have a very, very big panel today, very well spoken. Charlene Maria Lawrence, author and social activist, S. Muralidharan, political analyst, SMA Jamaldeen, who's spokesperson for the TVK, and Kasturi Shankar, actor and activist, who's now joining us on the phone line. Vanakkam to all of you and a very, very warm welcome. Kasturi, I'm going to start with you, Kasturi. I mean, like I said in my introduction, sexual assault is terrible in any case. On top of them, you know, everything else, survivor shaming. Oh, why are you with a guy at a university allowing a history cheater to enter the premises of Anna University, which has a legacy, then leaking of the FIR, then lame excuses. You know, why was this not done? The question is, the state of Tamil Nadu under the DMK dispensation requires a clean-up ASAP. It should not be done today, it should have been done yesterday. Kasturi.
No, Tamil Nadu state is in a very sorry state. And while I work with the BJP, I have to say this. We are missing Amma. We are missing Purachi Talavi J. Jayalalitha's rule in the state. I grew up under her watchful regime, and every time the DMK comes to power, we have taken it for granted that there will be a lot of infrastructural new initiatives and law and order will go to the dogs. And our expectations have been surpassed in Honorable Chief Minister Mr. Stalin's regime this time. And of course, yes, all the perpetrators, DMK, when the chief of police gives a press conference, this is unheard of. A chief of police acting like a public relations officer for the government to come and give a press conference and clear the allegations against his department. I've never heard of something. I've never seen something like this, and I'm going to be 50 next year. So it's very interesting what we have come to. Instead of a stable law and order situation, we've got the police answering questions about what went wrong. That they didn't leak it. It's whose fault is it? Tu main ye sab ho raha. So no. This is not about pulling their socks up and ensuring that women are safe in under the DMK watch. This is about pulling their socks up and ensuring that women are safe from against people in their own ecosystem. Jafar Sadiq, not our party. Jnana Sekharan, not our party. Any perpetrator, not our party. It's all well and good to distance yourself from somebody who is caught red-handed. Yes. But it is another thing to prove that it's there. At this point, these are greater than Chinese whispers.
All right.
People have so much proof coming tumbling out of the woodwork. Right. about Gnanasekharan himself and the kind of remiss action, the kind of indifference shown, the kind of indolence shown in this case, the kind of cover-ups being attempted. I'm so sorry, but DMK is responsible and has to answer.
Yes, Shalin, let me get you in here. Kasturi said about Gnanasekharan, you know, the accused who's now in custody. I mean, everyone thought, okay, poor biryani seller. I mean, I'm talking about people who live outside of Tamil Nadu. Of course, the South Indian here to always bring you up to speed. He's not an innocent biryani seller. The worst thing is, even if he were innocent biryani seller, for some man to enter university, he watches over a girl meeting boy, then, you know, allegedly coerces the survivor into performing sexual acts, then also, you know, threatens the boy, etc., etc., etc. There is kidnap. There is intimidation, there are charges of wanting ransom, there is charges of rowdyism. Charlene Maria Lawrence, you know, then the university gives lame excuses. Oh, we will look into it. Where is the CCTV camera? It was there tomorrow, day after, everything. Who's answerable? Charlene Maria Lawrence. Who is?
The state is answerable. Mr. M.K. Stalin is answerable. Udayanithi Stalin is answerable. The entire DMK is answerable, because I'll tell you why. Here there are some activists who were saying, oh, this is rape. Just talk about rape. Just talk about male, female, feminism, you know, all those stuff. Then they said, do not talk about party. What party has to do with it? But this person, Gnanasekharan, is a habitual offender. So when we talk about political parties, when we talk about rapes committed by men belonging to certain political parties, why do we talk about the party alliance? Is because end of the day that gives them impunity. For example, Gnanasekharan has been convicted, he's been, you know, accused. It's more than 17 cases. The Tamil Nadu police gives a sheet, you know, he's a history sheeter. Too many threatening blackmails. He's been running a porn web on WhatsApp, where they have blackmailed women, and they have, you know, used to send videos for people who requested for money. And there's been a lot of things which he's been extorting money, he's been robbing homes. But when you go and see, this person is associated with Ma Subramaniam, the minister of, you know, healthcare in Tamil Nadu, because he belongs to this place called Koturpuram, and this place he's you know, one of the student wing, youth wing. So he's a handyman for all these, you know, MLAs and ministers. So this is a blatant lie when they say he does not belong to the party, because there is proof of videos, tons of videos, even invitations, or you know, an Arivalayam, but the guy is associated, which means I just want to put one point here, Sudha, because as the FIR said, the girl said, the guy was saying you have to be with the sir. So here the problem is the sir. So I think this guy is just the tip of the iceberg, because this guy does things for people and politicians. So there's a bigger guy, bigger politician or a businessman or someone who's hiding behind this guy. And that's the reason all the information about the guy has been let out now. He's been thrown under the bus by the own party right now, because they're saying somebody big out there.
Right. So thrown under the bus, says Charlene Maria Lawrence. I'm also posing all the big questions on the screen for you, ladies and gents. Questions which you and I are asking. Will have to ask the big questions on your screen. Who's responsible? Will that person stand up according to Kasturi Shankar and also Charlene Maria Lawrence? It's the DMK government. Muralidharan, let me come to you. Muralidharan, fine. There could be political, as alleged, political vendetta. There could be political kind of skullduggery, as it were. But I want to ask you the role of the police, where it leaks the FIR and reveals the identity of the survivor, which goes against the Supreme Court rules. What is the police thinking, the Tamil Nadu police?
I think, Sudha, so first of all, apologies for the frame. There's power cut here at Koturpuram, the epicenter of the crime. Okay, I live there.
Political, so, you know, poetic justice, as it were. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, rightly pointed out by the Madras High Court in the first Somoto case, where they took the where they directed the special investigation team to investigate. It was very clearly, you know, what do you say, stated in the judgment that one, first of all, the commissioner, who was in a hurry to give a press release and press meet, and did he have the concurrence of the government? Okay. if he did not have a concurrence, so that means that's a violation of certain service rules. Okay, one. Second is, why would he, when the investigation is underway, why would he go and state that there's only one accused, we have arrested him, and his phone was on airplane mode, and there was nobody called sir. He was just faking it or something like that.
God.
So, and the FIR per se,
and
it
we are
was
all idiots.
written by the all women police station, and it was actually shaming and blaming the victim. So that was a shocker to them because it's all women police station. So these are things which were pointed out by the court, and that's the reason they said they didn't say it in so many words, but they understood that there's a cover-up which is happening. That's why the commissioners in front of the camera. That's why the FIR has been, written in such a manner. And apart from all these, and no other proper action is being taken. So that's why they directed a special investigation team, because there's a precedence. Like there was a POXO case.
Right. But Murali, all this sounds like
DMK.
All this sounds like some children are running Tamil Nadu state. I mean, children are smarter. I'm sorry, my apologies to kids, I have too. But I think, this seems like some really half-baked people who have their heads in the sand are trying to run it. Mr. Jamaldeen, let me come to you, Mr. Jamaldeen. Mr. Jamaldeen, we all live against hope, thinking that maybe someday there will be a day. But the point is, Mr. Jamaldeen, what happened to Armstrong's killer? There was 2 who were killed in police encounter. This murder happened in broad daylight. They said, oh, everyone will be brought to book. Today, what has happened, Mr. Jamaldeen? There seems to be complete cover-up, a blanket on it. So the thing is that every case happens. Media is blamed. Some politicians, they come up and I don't blame them. Why not? They raise their voices. After that, it is all kept under a lid. What is going on, Mr. Jamaldeen?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Welcome
for all the guests. I greet everyone to this Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
But the incidents, what has happened is a very sad thing, especially for the women community in Tamil Nadu. This is not. This has been happening. Women are kept mainly for vote banks, claiming vote. They want women votes for reaching power, but while giving security to them, it is a real lacking. Social atrocities, as our chief TVK chief has said, it really lacks the security. The anonymity is one of the major institutions under the government, which is the government's institution. It is under the government, a major technical institution.
Right.
The security, it is clear that lapse of security is to be given provided by the government. It should be overseen, whether periodical checks.
Right, it was not, okay. I get your point.
Yeah, it should have been given.
Yeah.
It should be given. The government is responsible for this.
Absolutely. Kasturi Shankar, let me come to you now, Kasturi Shankar. A lot of political experts feel that whether it is this government or that other government or the third government, the basic problem is that the way political parties, we are talking about Tamil Nadu, so I will focus on Tamil Nadu. The kind of people that they associate themselves with, these are criminals, these are people with very, very kind of dicey past, present, future, whatever you want to call it, easy access to politicians, calling them Anne, I want to be with you, Vanakkam, all that, genuflecting all the time, being around them. So it is complete chaos. There is no proper vetting which takes place. And number 2, the number of positions that are given to women politicians. So women are only used, rather, I'm sorry to be using that word, but politically used because there are some plum positions. Rest of the time, it is the men who decide.
It's a man's world. It's not just political parties. We have to introspect about our own Tamil society, Tamil Nadu society. You could generalize that to India as well, but we are talking about Tamil Nadu, so we'll talk about Tamil society. Look at what happened in this particular case itself, where the girl was intimidated and threatened with what? She was with her boyfriend, which is fine. That's not illegal. It's not a crime to get physical, to consenting adults getting physical is not a crime, right? But she was threatened that she will be exposed to whom? To the public? No, to her own family. So this is where we are. We are not in the 21st century yet about certain things when it comes to women. I mean, I'm so glad that her parents, the victim's parents, are standing solidly by their daughter. It's a very heartwarming, it's the one good thing that came out of this entire chaos.
Absolutely.
Because the rest of society, if you look at the Honorable High Court's orders, you'll see that the High Court has actually specified that Anna University has to make sure that the victim will be able to complete her studies without any hindrance.
Of course, and I think
Can you
everyone.
imagine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Very strong observation by the Honorable Court. I'm completely running out of time. Charlene Maria Lawrence, I want a one line. I'm sorry I'm pressurizing you like this. What is the way out, Charlene Maria Lawrence? Is it that the DMK government should be ousted? Should there be a very serious wake-up call for them? What does one do?
I want the DMK government to be ousted. Seriously. Right midnight, if you're going to ask me, I need a change of power in Tamil Nadu. Because I am the one who voted for them. I voted for them in 21. And right now, I am telling you, I do not need
Very bold and strong.
They are very insensitive.
Yes.
It's very, they have no empathy and they do not know how to rule a state.
I mean, very strongly put by Charlene Maria Lawrence. Only the way a woman can speak, not to say that men can't. Muralidharan, what is your, I mean, I know that you're a political analyst, you do other things as well. So maybe what should be done now? I mean, we've discussed, Armstrong, now we are discussing this 19-year-old girl whom Kasturi Shankar said is so proud. I am proud as a woman, the parents are supporting her. She will go back and finish her course. But give us some hope. What is the way out of this mess by the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam?
Simple, Sudha. They have to come clean. Or they have just confirmed to the people that every time they come to power for 5 years, next 10 years is given it in writing to the DMK. So if they don't come clean now, so they're deep in their grave, and 2026 they won't even score even 10 to 15 seats. So that's very clear now. So that's the state, the law and order.
Warning bell. I mean, today on my show, everybody is sent out a forewarning to the DMK that no more can these empty promises really work. They need action. If you can't, then you better give up and maybe sit out. On that note, thanks very much to all my guests for joining me on this very important debate on the horrific Anna University sexual assault case. Coming up next is a story from Karnataka. Bus fare in Karnataka has been hiked by 15%. Is the hike fair or unfair? We'll get to know. So the break, see you on the other side.
Valuations can be frothy. Going public is almost like what some of us would like to say is the holy grail, right? IPOs are a trend, not a bubble.
Do secondary markets exist? Answer is absolutely yes, and it's been around for a very long time.
Valuations could be high or low, and valuations may correct over time, but IPOs are here to stay. It is basically a graduation ceremony of sorts. It is potentially where a startup stops being a startup and starts becoming an enterprise.
The IPO space has just started in the past 24 months. The startup ecosystem has been around for 15 years.
Fundamentally, if you have a strong business and you have predictability of cash flows and you can actually give with a fair degree of confidence where the business is headed, the market will reward you.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
All right, welcome back. You're watching the South Indian on News 9. That's our second main debate. Karnataka, 15% hike in bus fare. Fair or unfair? Almost like a Shakespearean tragedy question. To be or not to be? That's the question. Effective 5th of January, the Karnataka government has announced a 15% hike in bus fares across all 4 state-run transport corporations. That is, the Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation, Kalyana Karnataka Road Transport Corporation, Northwestern Karnataka Road Transport Corporation and Bengaluru Metropolitan Transport Corporation. One of the main reasons for this hike is to generate an additional revenue of 7.84 crores per day for the cash-strapped corporations. The fare hike comes amidst the state's flagship Shakti scheme, which provides free bus travel for women on state-run buses. This scheme, which celebrated its first anniversary and with much fanfare in June, cost the government approximately 417 crores per month, with 104 crores allocated to each corporation. The 15% fare increase is set to partially offset the scheme's financial burden. There has been criticism, of course there will be, and from politicians. BJP leader R. Ashoka carried out a protest on the rise in fares of bus fares and said this. Listen in.
Every year, every 2 years, the petrol, diesel rise. In our government, we are in four years. We are not rise. That time also petrol rise, diesel rise, TADA rise. When I am the transport minister, that time I given 400 crores to the laborers, driver and conductors. We are not rise. This government become pauper. There is no money in pocket of Siddaramaiah. That's why they are doing to this pauper government. You know Himachal Pradesh government become pauper. CM told, I will give back to government. So same thing will happen in Karnataka also.
In 2020, December 26th, at that time, Yediyurappa was chief minister. They hiked 12% fare hike. Why they did in 2020? At that time, petrol rate was just 60 rupees. See, in 5 years back, we were spending for diesel every day 9 crores. Now we are spending 13 crores for diesel, and every day 4 crores more we are spending for diesel for 1 day. And our salaries and other things, we were spending 12 crores every day 5 years back.
Also, BJP State President Vijendra, in a post on X, accused the government of burdening the public under the pretext of its 5 guarantee schemes. Referring to the Shakti initiative, he likened it to a buy one, get one free marketing gimmick. We are asking, ladies and gents, whether the hike is fair or unfair. You know, if you see it from the prism of rising fuel costs and burdened state transport corporations, it seems fair. But when viewed from the prism of an ordinary man who's caught between paying more or opting for an expensive AC bus ride, it really is a tough ride for him, isn't it? Let's debate. I've got 2 guests. Satya Prakash, spokesperson for the KPCC, has joined us, and T.S. Sankeert, spokesperson for the BJP. A very happy new year to both of you. Great to see you in the new year. I hope you're having a great time. I just want to ask first Satya Prakash. Satya Prakash, you know, there are enough and more reasons. There is rising fuel cost. But what I mean, all the transport corporations have said we are pending Provident Fund to pay. We are pending lots of benefits to pay. Where will we get the money from? Please hike the rates, etc. I get that. But you know what really rankles with me? What Minister Patil has said. He said the Shakti scheme, which provides free travel for women on non-AC state-owned bus, will remain unaffected. Fantastic. Great. But the point is, it says that the fares are lower than Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra. Satya, why are you comparing yourself with other states here?
At the outset, Happy New Year to you and your entire news family, Sudhaji.
Thank you, Satya.
Please convey to all your backroom guys.
Thank you.
See, Sudhaji, primarily we need to understand that why the prices have increased. Because BMTC, the last price increase was 10 years back. That means in a metro city like Bangalore, for the last 10 years, same rates were operating. In spite of diesel rate going up by nearly, 10 years back, the diesel rate was somewhere around 40, 45, 48 rupees. Today it is a whopping 88 to 89 rupees or 85 to 88 rupees. So while the diesel rate has gone up by nearly 80-90%, the rates in Bangalore BMTC has remained same. That means after 10 years, there is an increase of 15%.
Right.
Point number one. Point number two is KSRTC, the last increase was 5 years back in 2020, like our Transport Minister Sri Ramlinga said. That means for the last 5 years, there is an increase of nearly 20 to 25 rupees.
I get your point. Satya, I get your point, buddy, because right from the beginning, I have said that you have to see it from two prisms. But the point is, many people will say, very good, fuel rates have gone up, you have pending, and it's not increased in many years. But the point is, they will also point out at Shakti, just because it is a Congress guarantee, you will keep Shakti in place. Look at a man, you don't get a free ride on Shakti, no? Now you have to travel from, let's say, Bengaluru to Mysore.
My daughter is going to
you are not a female. No, I'm talking about men who work. I am being gender equal. The thing is that what happens to you who has to travel to Mysuru? Then you have to take an AC bus. Either you spend more money or you travel in discomfort. Sankirt, come on, let me have Sankirt on the screen, please. Sankirt, hi. Sankirt, he's right. The fare hike hasn't happened in many years. The fuel rates have gone up. There are other costs. I mean, I've got data here, but I don't want to get into data so much because it can sometimes kill a story. It's for everyone to understand. Tell me, Sankirt, is it logical for them, because their coffers are running empty, that they have to somewhere adjust the budget somewhere so that they can make some profits also? For God's sake, they are running an administration, Sankirt.
See, firstly, Happy New Year to you and all your staff members. Secondly, see, since the Congress government came to power in Karnataka, the problem is they have given 5 guarantees, and the 6th guarantee is also come towards it. That is the price rise guarantee. The milk price have gone up, the prices of essential commodities have gone up. Okay, this is, if you want to call it like what the transport minister said, it's a daily, it's a natural routine. Yes. I want to ask the transport minister and the Congress spokesperson, all the transport departments in Karnataka, NWKRTC, BMTC, KSRTC, or this state transport departments, they are already under a loss of 6,300 crores. Again, they are wanting to raise a loan of additional 2,000 crores, which is definitely a burden to the exchequer and to the transport departments. The problem is that they want to raise loans, and the state-owned transport departments themselves have to repay the loan. So this is a big challenge. Rather than the 15% price hike which is being announced by the Congress government as of now, another additional loan which will also burden the people in the upcoming days. So they don't have a proper fiscal plan. They don't have a proper... See, when they announced the guarantees, we told these guarantees were unscientific. If you compare Tamil Nadu, the free bus rides are within the district jurisdiction, whereas in Karnataka, the free guarantees is all over the state, which is not practical. So that is what we were telling was unscientific and all those things. The Congress government, in order to come to power, they gave very fancy guarantees and very fancy announcements. But today, it is definitely pinching the exchequer of the government. It is definitely pinching the exchequer and pockets of the normal people.
Yeah.
The quality of the buses, what we are traveling through, it is deteriorated very badly. The maintenance is bad, and the employees are going on a strike. So if you see, there are many such issues which is bothering the state-owned transport department.
Satya, I remember Satya, where DK Shivakumar, the deputy chief minister, said, "Oh, some women who earn well, they say we don't want the Shakti rides. We are very happy paying for it, etc., which I think was rather illogical, but then he said it, so it's okay. Then afterwards you paraded women and said, look at it, Shakti scheme is so successful. I have one logical question, Satya, to ask you. The SRTC are the state-run corporations, they are grappling under the liability of almost 6,000 crores, 5,500 crores. 500 crores is too much of money. So 5,500 crores, and there are areas for retired officials, etc., people. To alleviate the burden, the government has taken a loan of 2,000 crore. There are operational costs and there are delays and etc. Satya, There is allegation that you are diverting money from SC/ST funds to your guarantees on top of this burden. Don't you think that at this time the hike is rather premature and amateurish, is my question to you.
Sudha, when BJP was in government, do you know the amount of loans that these guys have taken for KSRTC? It is more than 5,500 crores. We are taking only 2,000 crores. Second point is, Sankirth himself wants an answer from me and he has answered it himself. He is only telling that, the KSRTCs are running a loss of 4,500 to 5,000 crores. And through this, we are going to raise revenue of another 2,000 crores, which is going to come to the government because at the rate of 5 to 7 crores additional that we are going to get out of this scheme per day. Point number one. Second thing is, you look, KSRTC has got 8 best national awards for the Transport Corporation on various factors like the best service, multi-axle Volvo buses, the best service in the country KSRTC has. And we have pumped in nearly another 6,000 buses ever since we have come into power.
Yeah, sure. I agree. Maybe. First of all, this is not a BJP Congress jagda debate. I don't like that. I mean, you owe it to the Kannadigas. Of course, you have to compare. But I'm talking about today, yesterday, tomorrow, day after, waste of time. I'm telling you that, let's talk about today. Okay, Satya, you are saying
today
that we
require more buses. Today we require more buses because there is more demand for KSRTC.
There is more population also. No, every year the population increases, Satya. What kind of a debate is this? I mean, Sankirth, come here. Do you think they're sitting on a ticking bomb? Because I have done at least 12 stories that the guarantees, it's not that they are being, corrupt. Not at all. They are just it's very difficult to manage these freebies.
Are you saying
Annabhagya, Jyoti, all this,
For everything
quickly, one-liner, I'm moving on. I've got a breaking news. Sankirth, one line and I have to close the show. Come on, thank you.
The Deputy Chief Minister himself, he came out and said that he's getting many requests to stop these guarantees, which indirectly, if you see the Himachal Pradesh model, how the Congress government is trying to stop the guarantees. This is just a trailer which is coming out from the mouth of
He says it's a trailer. Yeah, it's a trailer. Let's see, because my apologies, but I have to thank both of you.
So you keep dreaming, not an issue.
Sankirth says that it's a trailer. Let's wait and watch where this Shakti, the bus fare hike, actually goes. The next is a breaking story only on the South Indian. Allu Arjun gets regular bail in the Sandhya Theatre Stampede case. That's coming up next. Alright, the big story. Allu Arjun gets bail. The Nampalli court in Hyderabad has granted bail to iconic star Allu Arjun. In the Sandhya Theatre Stampede case, Allu Arjun has been given regular bail by the court, which asked him to furnish 2 surety bonds of 50,000 each. Allu Arjun was arrested on 13 December in connection with the incident and produced before the Nampalli court, which remanded him to 14-day judicial custody. Arjun was then shifted to jail, and the Telangana High Court granted him interim bail for 4 weeks and he was released from jail. Let me now go across to my colleague Noor Mohammed for more on it. Noor Mohammed, बताइए क्या कुछ हुआ आज कोर्ट ने क्या कहा अल्लू अर्जुन के बारे में? नूर, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
देखिए, लगातार अल्लू अर्जुन के परिवार और तेलुगु फिल्म इंडस्ट्री को या तेलुगु स्टेट के लोगों के लिए सबसे बड़ी बिल्कुल। देखिए, अल्लू अर्जुन की जो बेल पिटीशन थी, ऑलरेडी तेलंगाना हाई कोर्ट ने इंटरमिनेट बेल दिया था, मगर आज रेगुलर बेल के लिए हैदराबाद के नामपल्ली कोर्ट में दाखिल की गई थी और लगातार उनके परिवार के लोग, फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के लोग इस चीज़ को लेकर काफ़ी चिंतित थे और आज सबसे बड़ी राहत मिली है अल्लू अर्जुन को रेगुलर बिल मिल जाने के बाद से। और कहीं ना कहीं कोर्ट एक लचक फिर उसमें डाल के रखी है कि हर संडे आप चिकड़पल्ली पुलिस स्टेशन हाजिर होना होगा और पुलिस के इन्वेस्टिगेशन जो चलेगी उसको आपको सपोर्ट करना होगा। देखिए, तेलुगु फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के लिए और आंध्र और तेलंगाना की पब्लिक के लिए सबसे बड़ी राहत की बात है। सबसे बड़ी राहत तो उनके परिवार के लिए है, जो सबसे बड़ा जश्न। और
बिल्कुल सही कहा कि बहुत बड़ी राहत उनके परिवार के लिए। अब आगे देखना होगा कि इस खबर को हम कैसे ले जाते हैं। मैं माफी चाहूंगी पर मेरे पास समय की बहुत कमी है। नूर मोहम्मद, बहुत शुक्रिया आपका हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए एंड ब्रिंग अस up to speed on the Allu Arjun. Lot of stories today and therefore we had to spend little time, but you know, we kind of covered ground. Thank you for watching. My name is Sudha Sadanan. You're watching the South Indian. For more stories and all the stories only on this platform, News 9. See you shortly. Vanakkam.
Valuations can be frothy. Going public is almost like what some of us would like to say is the holy week, right? IPOs are a trend, not a bubble.
Do secondary markets exist? Answer is absolutely yes, and it's been around for a very long time.
Valuations could be high or low, and valuations may correct over time, but IPOs are here to stay. It is basically a graduation ceremony of sorts. It is potentially where a startup stops being a startup and starts becoming an enterprise.
The IPO space has just started in the past 24 months. The startup ecosystem has been around for 15 years.
Fundamentally, if you have a strong business and you have predictability of cash flows, and you can actually give with a fair degree of confidence where the business is headed, the market will reward you.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
In the chaos of battle, one weapon stands as a silent reaper of the battlefield. It can kill at ranges of over 3 kilometers. Just one precise shot can shatter enemy lines, disrupt entire formations, and tip the scales of war. This is a weapon born in Bharat, and it's crafted to take on the best in the world. This is the S Defense Sabre, and you're watching Guns of India.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
We made history for a reason tonight.
Will it change the shape of American foreign policy? Violence has erupted in Manipur once again. How can we pass judgment, sir, before any inquiry that, they were volunteers or militants, sir?
He said, Thomas, if it were not for my grandmother, who was my light of my life, I would have stayed back in the US and married the girl who I loved and I wanted to marry. He said, 2 things brought me back to India. Number 1 is that my grandmother, who meant everything to me, she took ill. And the other half was that grandmother used to always tell him, please understand, Tata stand for certain principles and normative values. At some point of time in your career, you will have to embrace it unfailingly and ensure that there is no deviation from the path which Jamshedji, the founder, had shown for the entire Tata family.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
You're watching News 9. I'm Krishna Kumar. These are the top stories that we're tracking. Hitting the campaign trail in poll-bound Delhi, Prime Minister Modi takes Kattar Beiman jibe at Arvind Kejriwal, says the Aam Aadmi Party is an aapada or a disaster for Delhi. Kejriwal counters PM Modi's aapada remark, says the BJP has no chief minister face. That is the real aapada. The Election Commission is likely to announce the Delhi State Assembly election dates on the 7th or 8th of January. Protest erupts as Karnataka State Cabinet decides to increase the fare for state-run buses by 15%.